What up? Welcome or welcome back. My name is Ari and it's a new week. We got more of the alphabet. I am on the letter M and I think the goal is to get to the letter R this week, but I'm just guessing. I did not, count that out or anything like that because counting's hard. Guessing is way more fun. So this week I think is for the most part full of books that I don't have planned out. I know the letter M, which is what you're gonna see here in just a second, I do have planned out, and the letter Q I have planned out. But because I only have one book with the letter Q on my TBR period. Actually, no, I may have two, but whatever, that's planned out. Anyway, so these books are various things. So like week 1 was all like chonky books, and week 2 was all like 300-ish page books. This week is going to be like middle range, like 300 to 500 pages, or chunky. I don't think I have anything really short. Well, I guess I don't have anything planned out, so I guess I could find short. But that doesn't... Who knows? Who knows where this is going? I do know a lot of letters in this range don't have a lot of options on my physically owned TBR. So that is something to keep in mind. Like the letter N. I think I have one book with the letter N on my TBR. One, maybe two books with the letter Q on my TBR. So, small options somewhere, big options elsewhere. But I'm talking too much, and you want to know what I'm reading, right? So, for the letter M, I need to read my other Shannara book this month, which is The Measure of the Magic. I'm not looking forward to this. This does not promise to be a very good book, because the last book in this series sucked. Anyway, I'll be back hopefully soon, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. How fast can I read this book? With the letter N. Alright, I'm gonna be real honest with you, and when I filmed that last clip, I had like 30 pages left in that Shannara book. I just didn't film it yesterday because all of my cards were full and I had to edit a bunch of videos to like make room. Now we're on to the letter N, and I haven't started this book. But I went through my owned TBR on Goodreads, and I only have one book on my own TBR that begins with an N, so there's not a whole lot of choice in this. I have like 2 or 3 books that are not part of my owned TBR that I could have potentially purchased for this, but nothing that like really stood out as something that like I want to read right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clear something off my backlog to get it off my backlog. And that is behind me. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. There is a lot of pages in here. Actually, it's not that many. It's 370 pages, but the font is very small, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this is about. Richard Matthew is a plain man with a good heart and an ordinary life that is changed forever on a day he stops to help a girl he finds bleeding on a London sidewalk. Well, that was extreme, okay. From that moment forward, he is propelled into a world he never dreamed existed, a dark subculture flourishing in abandoned subway stations and sewer tunnels below the city. A world far stranger and more dangerous than the only one he has ever known. The font on the back of this book is the trashiest trash ever. All of the A's look like O's, and I hate it. Anyway, sure. Neil Gaiman is a weird writer. This promises to be weird as shit. And hopefully I enjoy it, because I bought this book forever ago and it's just been sitting there. I don't even remember why I bought it. So it's time for the letter O. And this was another letter that I wasn't particularly attached to, so I asked another friend of mine to choose it for me. But before I show you what he chose, let's go over the options. So The Obsidian Tower is one of the books that begins with an O, but it's like crazy long. This is like 500 pages, so that's off the list automatically because ain't got time for that. So the two books I sent for him to choose from were Oasis, which is about sci-fi and people in a desert find an oasis, but they're trapped there and can't leave because of some crazy AI, I think. And then The Odds of Lightning, and I don't remember what this one's about. This is like a contemporary coming of age story about 4 teens in New York City over one night of like a freak thunderstorm. So I don't know. Anyway, I sent him both of these book covers and he chose The Odds of Lightning. So I'm gonna read this. It's something that came in a defunct book box, like a young adult book box that I used to subscribe to that doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna read this and we'll see if it's any good or not. Hello, I am on the letter P, and since I've been doing so great about grabbing books off of my bookshelf for these past few letters, let's grab something off of Goodreads TBR. And these are the books that I am trying to read for, or that were nominated for Goodreads Choice Awards in 2020. I read at least 2 books in every category. So for this one, in the poetry category, I'm going to read Poems from the End of the World by Kate Wismere. She is a YouTuber, so you may have heard of her. So that's what I'm reading for that. Fancy seeing you here. It's been like 30 minutes since the last clip. I could get through the alphabet in a day if I just read poetry. So, quickly moving along, I am going from super short to super chunky with the letter Q, which is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. This is the next book, I don't know, the 5th, 6th book. I feel like this stool I'm sitting on is going to crack and break because it keeps popping at me. Let's say it's the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series. I'm not like in love with this series, but I want to finish it. So I'm going to try to like keep moving it along, pick up a book every month or every other month. I've got, let's see, including this one, I've got 4 more to go. So let's just get into it. So for the letter R, I am reading a horror story called The Remaking by Clay McLeod Chapman. This is a weird little horror story that I got in a book box. The reason I am reading this, even though I have a lot of R books that I could have chose from, is it fits into a couple of prompts for the last rolls of Bookopolython this weekend. There's a whole separate vlog for that. It's Sunday night and I need to edit this vlog, but I do want to quickly slip in one more book before I do, and that is going to be The Stone of Tymora by R.A. Salvatore, or R.A. and Gino Salvatore. This is technically 3 books in one bind-up, but it's so short that I'm just gonna read it as one book, because they all start with S anyway, so it's not helping out my alphabet thing to do these is separate books. So, letter S is 3 novellas, all in one bind-up. Easy. And that's it for the alphabet this week. Let me know what you thought of any of these books, and if there are any of them that sound really interesting to you that you really want me to feature more of on my wrap-up. And I will catch you next week, starting with the letter T, which is my Buzzwordathon book for the month.